and our own David Paul sent it to me, and I took the pictures out of the email, and I'm going to put it to some music and make a presentation out of it, and we'll show it later. But it's going to tell you that at the end of this presentation, it's going to show you an example of, if the kids want us as parents, folks, they want you. I don't care how they're acting per se right now. They want you to be their parent. They want you to act like a parent. Come on, folks. You know, I never allowed myself as a parent growing, even though from the day one of my kids, if this is before I became a Christian, I had seen too many times in life that I would never ever allow myself to say, this couldn't happen to me. You know, you've heard that many times when children get abducted because parents weren't watching, or maybe they were watching, but you know, something happened or whatever, and they hear the comment, I just never thought this could happen to me. Why not to you? Why not you? Why not you? And why not you? What makes you think that you cannot be a victim? Now, if you say, my child would never do that, you need to get your act together then. I have two wonderful boys. They're very good boys. And as teenagers go, they're very responsible young men. I do trust them, but I don't trust the world, folks. And to be honest, I don't trust you with them. Now, does it mean there ain't good people out there that could watch my children or lead them in the right direction? I'm not saying that at all. But I take that posture as I don't trust the world with my children. So I'm always on guard to what they're getting into, trying to steer them in the right direction and make the right choices about life. Let them know that I am there, their mom is there, and we're going to teach them, and what I've taught them from day one, what is right and what is wrong, what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And unless you do those things, you are setting your children up for disaster. I want to read something here that my staff got me today. And it says daily, you and your children are being indoctrinated into believing the following. There are no moral absolutes. Your business is nobody else's business. If what one is doing is not hurting anyone, it's okay. If it feels good, it must be right. You can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. You can change your look and feel beautiful. You can choose to terminate an innocent human life while it's in the womb, but you have to save the whale and all the other endangered animals of the earth. You came to existence by chance that took millions of years to happen. You are a god or can become a god. You are one with nature, or all is just one. All religions lead to the same God. Family doesn't necessarily mean marriage or mom and dad. And other lies, and the list goes on and on and on. Questions about your children. You should ask yourself your question. How much time do you spend with your children? Do you read to them? How many hours do your children watch TV per day? Do you, now listen to this, folks, listen to this next one, because I know a lot of you, when you looked at and you answered this truthfully, this next statement truthfully, if you really do, you might just be ashamed of yourselves. Might. Not saying all. Do you monitor their music and videos and the books that they read? Are you involved in their school activities? Do you know what they are being taught in school? What kind of toys do your children have? Are they half beast and half man and half scary and fangs and flying gargoyles and all kinds of other garbage like that? What movies do they watch? They watch movies where people's heads are getting bitten off and things are exploding and people doing drugs and prostitution and killing people and that kind of stuff that your kids watch. Do you know where your children are? There used to be a commercial out there for talking about children, and I think a lot of you parents remember this. They say, do you know where your children are? It'd be about 10 o'clock, I think it was, as a commercial for curfews. Do you know where your children are? I used to tease my wife sometimes. We'd be sitting there and I said, honey, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? She says, well, since 7 o'clock they've been in the house. I know exactly where they are, each and every moment of the day, except for they're at school. And when they're at school, they better be at school doing school things. Do you know your children's friends? Man, I have ran into parents before, and they say, talking about their kids. Well, they're out with their friends who I'm not really sure. What do you mean you're not sure? Maybe they're out with the next Charles Manson family. What do you mean you don't know who your children are with? Maybe there's some drug dealer or some meth head. What do you mean you don't know who your children are with? What do you mean you don't know who your children's friends are? If my sons are talking to someone on the phone, if I think they've been on the phone more than a minute or two, I'll ask them to pause and put their hand over the receiver and ask who they're talking to. Oh, it's Jeff or Kyle or Lyndon, or and I know who these people are. And if they say a name I don't recognize, I'll be the first to ask them, who is it? Parents are, well, I gotta respect their privacy. Okay, listen, folks. I understand that you want to give your kids a space and let them grow up, but you must know what they are doing. Their mind is not completely developed enough to understand some of the levels of trouble they can get into. They don't see the world the same way you and I do. That's why we have the problems that we do. Next, do you know your kids? I've heard parents talk about they don't know their kid's favorite color. What an absolute sad thing. They don't even know their children's favorite color. Questions about yourself. Now, I say, wait a minute, Larry. This is supposed to be a show about teens and the peer pressures they suffer. Well, you know what? The reason they suffer peer pressure is because they don't have the backbone to understand when to say no, what's right or wrong. And that's because our society has kicked God right out of his rightful place, the head of our table and the first of our lives. So questions for parents. Come on, folks, now. I want you to just sit back, take the defenses down, take your guard down, take yourself off the pedestal. I'm the best parent that ever walked face the earth. I'm not that, you're not that. I always tell my children there is always room for improvement. How much time do you spend reading the Bible? How much time do you parents, how much time do you parents prepare yourself to fight the devil that's trying to influence your children to do the wrong thing? How much time do you get educated? How much time do you sit down and read the Bible and ask God, how do I do this, Lord? What's the words I must read? Have you read the Bible? Now, I don't know who's listening out there tonight. I don't know what your walk with is God, what your position is with the Lord. I don't know what road you've been traveling on, or even if you're saved. I don't know if you was tuned in to say, you know what, I want to listen to this program to see what